to another episode. Today we will be ranking our top 10 players under 25 years old. We'll start with Marvin.
Oh, okay. My number 10, I put Jaren Jackson Jr.
Oh.
Just came off a defensive player of the year. His offense is great too. We've seen it in the playoffs 2 seasons ago, last playoffs as well. I think he's a really talented big, and I think he has a lot more still coming for him as well.
That's very interesting spot.
That is incredibly low in my book. And he just won the defensive player of the year. You said it. He's got an amazing offensive ceiling. We've seen him beat the number 2 option on, a top 3 seed in the West, 50-win teams, etc. I don't know. I think that's incredibly low, but
I'm surprised about that.
yeah.
To give you just to clarify my rankings for one, and for one, we don't have any rookies obviously in these rankings, so everyone has to be under 25. But to clarify mine, so I'm going to tell you he's not my top 10. He's not even in my top 10, but I don't know how you have ranked it because I do think he's top 10 right now based off talent right now, under 25. But mine is kind of more like, who's going to be the best in 3-5 seasons out of these guys? Kind of who has that biggest ceiling, but realistically, it's not kind of like it's like a very realistic ceiling. That's why for me he's not in the top 10. There's quite a lot of things he's missing out of his game, but I love him. He's super good. It's really competitive. There's a lot of guys I think that have I think in 3 or 5 seasons they're gonna be really, really good.
Yeah, I don't know. I think his two-way impact. I think it's already I think he has a top 3 two-way impact in the league at this point.
Yeah.
Obviously he's one of the best defenders in the league. Just won defensive player of the year. Wasn't really that close. And he could shoot the 3. He could. He's got post touch. I don't know. I think he's got. I don't think he's even reached his ceiling yet, though. So he's much higher on my list.
My take on him is lack of rebound. There's a lot of things, and he'll get better at most of these things, I believe personally. But missing rebound or lack of rebounding is a consistent issue for him. He lacks being able to create his own shot as far as kind of like dribbling and moves and stuff like that. Does that make sense? Like he can shoot 3, but it's really just a very catch and shoot kind of 3 most of the time. So he lacks on that. Kind of just like finishing him, like a layup package. Like obviously he can finish around the basket. That's what he does, but kind of just like really get it in there. And this is mostly comparison. I'll just tell you my number 10 to Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley is my number 10 because Evan Mobley, despite not being defensive player of the year, has arguably had an even greater defensive impact with his limited time, only being 2 seasons in, making that Cavs defense top 5 his rookie year. Obviously not by himself, great defenders on that team, and number 1 last season. So his defensive impact is unquestionable that he can guard 1 through 5, just like Jaren Jackson Jr. I would argue Mobley can guard a little bit better in the perimeter, but it's whatever. It's potato. They're both amazing. Same thing. I just see I can start analyzing Mobley a little bit. I just think Mobley has incredible handles. Like if you look at him dribble, he looks like a small forward. Like his bag is there for me in 6'11", and he takes those shots. He kind of reminded me of Brandon Ingram. Especially Brandon Ingram, his first season wasn't efficient. I don't think Mobley has the same shot making ability. I don't think he ever will.
Yeah.
But you see him kind of take those shots, and a few of them do go in. So I really like that potential. He's got a great layup package. We know he can be dominant down in the paint, just like Jaren Jackson Jr. They both like to slam it in. I just like a lot of things from Mobley's games that I do believe he will develop at least to some extent, which will make him in 3 or 5 seasons better than Jaren Jackson Jr.
I'm with you. I also have him a little higher on my list, but I think if like Chet and Wemby weren't around, he'd be like the next big thing in terms of bigs. I'm really high on him. His defensive impact already is absurd. Obviously, he was in the finalists for defensive player of the year, and then his post touch I think is already really good, and then he's just expanding his range. And once it gets out to the 3-point line, which I think it inevitably will, he's going to be unstoppable. To an extent, but so I'll go next. My number 10 is LaMelo. I still think he missed last year. Everyone kind of has a weird taste in their mouths with the Hornets and all that. I don't think LaMelo is as hyped up as he used to be, but I still think he has a great ceiling. Obviously, there's the injury concern, and then some of the decision making on the court, at least. I mean, he kind of has lackadaisical moments. He kind of turns into like a pro-am park type thing. Sorry,
A lot of
guys.
questions, but my number one question, I guess, just to clarify, is: are you ranking this based off like talent right now, or like where you mostly see them in a few seasons?
I mean, kind of both. I mean, I try to do.
Crap.
You're kind of spazzing around here, but
Jeez, man, I think I changed my Wi-Fi. It's been tripping. Let me see
all
if
right.
I change it. We have to cut that out. Can you guys hear me normal now?
Yeah.
All right,
right,
let me ask the question.
Uh.
Oh, wait, did you hear my question or no?
I heard it, but you should ask it again.
Okay. So just to clarify, is your ranking based off like potential, like where you predict them to be in 3 to 5 seasons, or like where they are now talent-wise under 25?
Kind of a bit of both. I mean, I try to factor in both, but also if you're performing now, it put it better. I put you higher up on my rankings for sure.
Yeah, mine were a lot like that too. I had a lot of how they are now, but obviously still with some of that, like, okay, can they get better? Will they get better?
All
I
right.
mean, I don't know how you have 8 players above LaMelo Ball, but we'll get there when we get there.
I have 9 players above LaMelo Ball.
You have 9 players above LaMelo. Like, I don't know how you have that.
I don't
With the
either.
guy his size, with
You guys have
literally doing everything, top 5, like deep 3-point range with guys like Steph Curry, Damian Lillard, Trae Young. We know what he can do playmaking, dunking wise.
I
I don't
I
see it.
I almost had him off my list. I'm surprised you guys have him higher up.
Well, I mean, I don't know how though. He literally does everything. Like he lacks a little bit of discipline, shot selection wise. But we see some of the other big guys like
It's
Trae Young have the same problem, at least a
well,
little inefficiency.
like I said, it's not so much it's not on LaMelo necessarily that I have him so low. It's on how high I am on everyone else. Like I almost had Paulo ahead of him. I'm just really high on. I mean, Paulo's a big body. Yeah, I mean, he just has a higher ceiling, in my opinion, and I think in terms of skill wise, he's already almost there with LaMelo. So
Skill wise, he's almost there with LaMelo. Handle bags, passing, playmaking, shooting, layup, dunking. Like,
passing and playmaking is not necessarily his role, but he's still pretty good at it. And for being a 6'10" forward.
oh, he's pretty solid, but he's nothing close to LaMelo Ball. Like
Yeah,
LaMelo Ball I think LaMelo Ball is such a.
What would you rather have for the future? A 6'10" dynamic scorer that can do a little bit of everything, or a guard who can also do a little bit of
Who's
everything?
6'7"?
Okay.
That age,
Hey,
and
guard,
like,
don't forget he's like 6'7". He's not just a
LaMelo.
guard.
That's what
I
I'm
know,
saying.
but just in general, you would rather have the bigger body,
What?
better scorer than that guy.
So what kind of argument is that? Bigger body, so Steph Curry, like you're just not ever gonna take Steph Curry? Like that's such a weak argument,
No,
dude.
no.
Especially because LaMelo Ball is a 6'7" point guard.
No, my argument is that I think Paulo and LaMelo are so close that I'll take the bigger body. And I'll
So
take
what happened to like shooting, 3-point shooting, like playmaking, handles? Like LaMelo Ball can literally do everything on the court. Like he
Paulo's
hasn't been able to elevate the Hornets to where
Yeah.
they were above 50% wins when he played relatively healthy.
All right.
That's the effect he has on that organization.
Okay, you got to remember that this factors in potential. I think Paulo's potential is a lot higher than LaMelo's, in my opinion. So I'm factoring that in. Ultimately, I still put LaMelo ahead of him. But I'm saying it was close.
Oh,
Close
I thought you
enough.
said you had Paulo ahead of him. I thought you said you had Paulo ahead.
No. I said I was considering.
Well, we might have. I mean, I don't know how you consider that, but we'll gonna come back to LaMelo after we see who you have above LaMelo.
Yeah. Okay.
I have Cade Cunningham at 10.
Mm.
He's just a big point guard who really has everything in his bag.
Yeah.
We've seen what he can do on the court. He was doing really good against the Lakers. When they had Russell Westbrook, LeBron and AD were struggling to stop Cade Cunningham scoring. Cade Cunningham's defense is really good. He just really has a great package. And I do see it going higher. I just have a lot better guys, in my opinion, that are further on my list and that are just better than him. But he's definitely a top-tier basketball player right now.
I mean,
in general,
just health is the only factor in him. I mean, I hope he gets it turned up. I mean, because when he's on the court, I think he could be really special.
Yeah, I agree. The only reason I agree his potential is there, his talent right now is there too. Only reason I don't have him on my list is I didn't think his sample size was big enough to really know what he's capable of. But besides that, I mean I can't complain about having him there.
Yeah, the same with me. All right, Marvin, who's your 9?
But my number
Let's make
9.
it around. Let's make it around. Go back Valentin 9.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
we can take it. That's fine.
I have Evan Mobley at 9.
Okay.
Kind of just what we already talked about.
Yeah.
He has, again, everything, but he's a bigger guy, and his ceiling is really high right now. He might switch into that center position too,
Hope so.
but his post moves I really like. He has a really nice post move game. His mid range game is really good. I see a high ceiling from him, and he's already really, really talented.
Yeah.
And should have won Rookie of the Year, I think, over Scotty.
I don't want to talk too much about Mobley, but I actually, as far as post move himself, I have that as one of the things that's kind of like his weakness, perhaps. I want to see him develop on post moves. I don't really see. He's got a great like layup bag, like Euro step. I love that. But as far as like being in there, doing Joel Embiid kind of things, like kind of posting up, getting a little hook shot, stuff like that, I don't see any of that from him.
He's not elite at it yet, by no means, but I think for his age, I think he's already pretty well established in that department.
And I've noticed at least during the preseason, he's been a lot better at post moves, I think, than he was last season. So he's been working on that, I can tell.
Yeah. All right. Did I go second or
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
sure.
got number 9. You got number 9.
Okay, so I'm next. All right. I got Tyrese Maxey. This is also more of a projection. I mean, he was amazing last year still, as a third option. But I think he's going to take the big step, assuming there's no Harden. I mean, his 3-point shot is ridiculously efficient, especially on catch and shoot. I think he'll be doing a lot more off the dribble this year as well. His playmaking's looking a lot better, especially in preseason. I'm just excited for the expanded role. I mean, he was already so good in the limited role he had, but I think he's going to get even better.
I personally think he's higher on my list.
high?
I think that's too low for Maxey, but at least he's on the top 10 because I definitely think he's one of the best ones out there. Like you said, he's done great things playing next to Embiid and Harden. We've seen the stats he has without one of them or both of them. That man is crazy. Even in the preseason, I was always kind of iffy, not super, but like I always thought maybe he could work on his playmaking. But right now in the preseason, his playmaking is looking beautiful too.
Had like 13 last night.
He knows how to take over.
I mean, there's no question he's good. I definitely have him higher. I'll just give you my take on him when I get there.
You have him higher?
Oh yeah, me too.
Maybe I'm undervaluing these guards. I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. You
All
definitely.
Right. Who's your 9, Laurin?
Number 9, got my boy, Franz Wagner. That man, yes sir, Magic baby, not Paolo. It's Franz time. And I think Paolo's gonna be great too. But Paolo's only had one. I don't have anyone. I don't think that is gonna be a sophomore. I want to see a little bit more sample size than just one season. But anyway, Franz Wagner, he can literally do everything on the court. That's why I mean, if you're 6'10", that's insane. So he's basically as tall as Mobley, which is crazy. And he literally has that shooting touch. He can shoot the 3 ball. He's a better playmaker than Mobley. He can dunk the ball. He's a good defender. He might not be Mobley elite, but he's a fantastic defender, a hustler. After just 2 seasons already being playing the role he plays, I mean, I think this guy, he's gonna be amazing wherever he is. He's healthy. He can do everything, and he does it all at a great or elite rate. And I think he's only gonna get better from here.
I don't have him on my list.
I don't either. But I mean, that's not to say he's not still an elite young prospect. I mean,
there's just so many good elite prospects and good players right now at such a young age that I think are just higher than
guys, that draft class, it's looking like elite though. I mean, you got Mobley, Scotty Barnes, who it wasn't great in his second year, but I think he still has a high ceiling. Jalen Green, Cade Cunningham, Franz Wagner, Josh Giddey. Those were the top 6 picks. I mean, that's just crazy.
I think this year's draft's going to be very similar, if not even
I
better.
think comparing it to a guy like Jaren Jackson, I think Franz Wagner, he's just going to be right for looking. Especially, I really did it. Obviously, I'm looking at how they're looking right now, but if I kind of base it off, if I was a GM right now, and I wanted to get a franchise-changing player on my team, who am I going to get for 3 to 5 seasons? Or if they didn't play for 3 years, and 3 years they are playing on my team, And I think Franz Wagner, he's going to be a much more valuable player to have on your team because he does than Jaren Jackson Jr. Because Franz Wagner's already scoring as many points as him. He's already a great defender. Obviously, it's not Defensive Player of the Year. Brings that playmaking. He can just bring a lot more to your team than Jaren Jackson. I think Jaren Jackson Jr. Obviously, if you have a great team like the Grizzlies, he's an amazing fit, right? There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're really looking for a franchise type of player to really bring your team over the hump, Franz Wagner is better than Jaren Jackson Jr. in my opinion, or he will be.
All right, what you got, Marvin?
My number 9, I got Darius Garland. Great playmaker. He's playing next to Donovan Mitchell. I think that loses some ball touches for him. He's got a really good shot as well. Really good layup package. And I think he has a lot more to offer, especially if he starts kind of getting more of that number 1 role on his team. Say Donovan either, is like, all right, you're point guard, I'll let you play that, or he leaves. I think he has a lot more that he still can bring out.
He's my number 8. He's right up next for me. He's my number 8.
I am
So
interested
you guys
who's
got
ahead of him.
You guys got Tyrese over Darius Garland?
Yeah.
Well,
let me get straight to it. Tyrese is my number 7. Tyrese is my number 7. So Darius Garland right now. So the thing about Tyrese Maxey, and this is why I am higher than a guy on Tyrese Maxey. I wouldn't be surprised if this man is by top 3, top 4 out of all these guys, because we've literally seen him as a high draft pick, or relatively high, like not like as in further back, right? It wasn't like a top 10 lottery pick, nothing like that. We see him work his way onto a team that had Joel Embiid, that had some stars on it. Ben Simmons had some issues, so obviously maybe that kind of. But anyway, he worked his way on that team really quickly his rookie year, made an immediate impact his rookie season, which is not easy to do for lottery picks. Yeah. And like you said, he's been able to play the 3rd or 4th option right now on a team where he's shooting over 40% three. So he can play off the ball, he can do shoot and catch. His athleticism is literally insane. He's so quick, he's got a handle bag. He plays defense, and he's still getting better at defense. He can play, he can do everything. His layup finishing is insane. He's crazy in transition. And part of what I like, again, is that I said, is he's been playing kind of that 3-4 role, and he's completely accepted that and accelerated, averaging 20 points per game. But we've seen him with Joel, without Harden, stepping up as well, getting 28 points per game. Like he's already doing it now. Like the eye test, even though he's low-key underrated, in my opinion, because like I said, like it's almost a crazy take I'm saying this, but like it's there right now. We're seeing it right now. Imagine him in 3 to 5 seasons really getting that chance, or putting him on a different team. Like this guy, to me, he's insane. I'm higher than a kite on Tyrese Maxey.
Oh, we can tell.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've watched Darius Garland ever.
Well, let's talk about Darius Garland for a little bit. I don't know. He's a lot higher on my list. Than Marvin. You put him at 9?
8, yeah.
Was that 8?
That was 9.
That was 9? Oh wow. Okay, yeah. So I have him a lot higher on my list. I think, like Tyrese, I think in a bigger role he would put up similar numbers. Obviously he's the second option right now. I don't know. I also think his passing is a lot farther along than Tyrese's. His defense is. It's there. It's there. It's not amazing, but it's there. We see guys similar height like Trae Young who just don't put effort in on that end, and Darius at the very least puts effort in. I don't know. I think Darius Garland is one of the more underrated players in the league.
That's fair.
But I can understand how you're high on Tyrese. I just think Darius is a little low.
I think the only thing Tyrese Maxey has over Darius Garland is his athleticism. I don't think he has anything else better than Darius Garland.
I would agree with that.
I disagree. He's taller, more. I feel like he seems to be more capable of scoring. I feel like a reason why both of these guys are underrated. I would agree. But that Maxey is just slept on is that he's like the 3rd, 4th option, but he's literally as a 3rd, 4th option averaging 20 points per game. All right. Garland as the first option before Donovan Mitchell came only averaged 1 point per game more.
I think it's more a 3rd, 2nd option than 3rd, 4th. Yeah. The 4th is kind of pushing it.
Tobias Harris, I agree. Maxey's more of a scorer than like let's not sleep on Tobias Harris at all. What he's capable of. I can whip you out a stat sheet.
We couldn't really hear you that last bit.
Oh,
Just say what you said again.
I said don't be sleeping on Tobias Harris at all. I think he's more of an option. Points per game, he scores more than him, but Tobias Harris is not meant to be slept on that team. But anyway, just a talented roster on that team. You don't hear much about Maxey, but he's doing 20 points per game as a third option, and he's not using half his game. Half his game, he's waiting around, sitting, watching Joel Embiid and James Harden do their thing, and he is
Harden
right. You can say Garland's a more flashy dribbler, perhaps, but like Maxey's got a bag and he's got a quicker step. He's more likely to get around a guy. He's got more athleticism. He shoots the three ball at a higher rate. Like,
he also doesn't take deep threes like Garland. Garland takes deep threes, which lowers.
Maxey takes deep threes too.
But like
nowhere near as much. As Garland.
Yeah, I don't think it's near as much.
That doesn't necessarily mean Garland's better.
Garland's better because he lowers his 3-point percentage.
Here, what's Tyrese's 3-point percentage? Because Garland still shot 41%.
Yeah.
Also speaking on the points, like Tyrese is more capable of scoring. I mean, Darius Garland also averaged 8 assists per game last year. I mean, it's not like he was. It was. I mean, Tyrese Maxey, one of his big flaws last year, he could be better this year, but we gotta see it in the regular game to really believe it. But I think he has improved. But Darius does dish out the ball. I mean, Tyrese plays a lot off ball. I mean, so does Darius. I don't know. I think it's unfair to say that Tyrese is a better scorer than Darius when Darius can put the ball in the basket as good as just as good as
Maxey.
Well, no, I'm talking about fitting in a team. As far as fitting into a team, Garland's super capable. He can literally do everything as far as scoring. I just see Maxey. He's able to take on a lot more roles. And as far as like assists, I think Garland's a better playmaker. Don't get me wrong at all. But I mean, Maxey's averaging with 4 assists. He doesn't take the ball up. That's not his role at all. His role is literally to go watch, stand in the corner, and shoot 3 most of the time. That's mostly his role. And we've seen him play very capable point guard, taking the ball up the court when that's needed, and see him make plays all the time. And that's what I'm saying. He's so capable in these different roles that he's very extremely versatile, and he's been just thriving in whatever role they put him in.
Going back to
you haven't seen that with Garland the same way.
Franz Wagner thing, who I'd rather have as my franchise guy, I'd 100% rather take Darius Garland over Tyrese Maxey. Like, Garland, better scorer in my opinion. Donovan Mitchell, I think it is a higher rate of shooter and has the ball a lot more than Joel Embiid. Which brings down Darius Garland's touches, and he still has top tier playmaking. Maxey doesn't have the playmaking of Garland. Dribbling, Garland, I think, is far better than Maxey. His handles, I think, are a lot better.
Far better, but to what advantage? Because like you can say they're more flashy, but like it's not like Maxey. Like he can get past anybody. He doesn't lose the ball. Like so, what advantage? Huh?
Garland is just as quick as Maxey.
I think Maxey's a little more.
I think there are maybe a handful of players that are faster than Maxey.
Okay, but I don't think Tyrese is that much faster than Darius that it makes a huge substantial difference. And I think Maxey is the top 2 fastest player in the league.
I think he's so like his acceleration. I mean, if you watch him play, right, he just won't cross, then he just explodes one direction or the other, and there's just only so much you can do to keep up with that. So, and plus he does have like incredible handles. Like
I think Darius. I mean, I don't think he's as fast as Maxey, but I think he's completely capable of that. I don't know. I think you're kind of just underrating a lot of aspects of Darius's game,
and overestimating Maxey.
I mean, literally, all I'm saying is like I never say Garland's slow. I never say anything like that. The thing is, I'm just talking about their game. Garland, his game is finesse dribble. Maxey can finesse, but also explode dribble. Like what I'm saying is, we see Ja Morant. We do see him do that, right? We see him not as much like finesse size people up. We see him make a few moves and explode to the basket. That's more of a Maxey style.
It doesn't make him better.
No, it doesn't make him better. But I'm just saying Garland. I was just saying that Maxey's more explosive than Garland is. Garland doesn't use that part of his game, and we also see Maxey also being able to size up people without problem. And Garland's better at sizing up people right now, but also I think in 3 to 5 seasons, based on what we see, Maxey's much more versatile and able to make steps consistently. I feel like Garland has relatively hit his ceiling.
I don't think so.
He's what, 23? I don't
even
know.
His first season he was bad. His second season was he an all-star?
No, it was his 3rd season.
But second season was skyrocketed way better than his first season. Yeah. And then 3rd season he became an all-star already.
That's exactly what's gonna happen with Tyrese
So
Maxey.
much.
Yeah, we're not saying Tyrese Maxey.
That was Garland as the number one guy on the team. So like that's Maxey isn't even the number one guy, and we've seen him being able to play
I
number
know,
one.
but they were like the 3 seed when healthy with Garland as the number 1 guy on the team. I don't know. I mean, Darius Garland has been very successful as the number 1 guy on his team when he was an All-Star, when he was 22 years old, you know.
I think Garland is better now and will be better for the
I agree. I'll take it back to your Paolo example though. Like I would much rather just have a bigger, a more athletic, more bouncy Maxi that can play more different roles, if that makes sense. Like different roles, also be a number 1 guy. And I just feel like in 3 to 5 seasons with his athleticism and bounce and being able to do catch and shoot and all that stuff, he's just gonna be a different beast on the court.
I mean, that's fair,
Yeah.
but
That's my take on it.
Yeah, it's your take. You know, there's no right or wrong.
I don't think Garland, like I said, Garland, I have him right. Like they're back to back. Like, I'm not trying to sleep on Garland. He's not out of my top 10. He's not my number 10. He's right there.
yeah.
Okay.
Whose turn are we on? Right?
My number 8. We're going back. Number 8, I actually have Garland's teammate Evan Mobley. We mentioned him earlier. Same thing. He has a lot of positive going for him, and he's already shown that he has a lot as well. So he just moved up to my 8.
Yeah. He's also at my 8.
I have Jaren Jackson Jr. We already talked about why he's so talented, but I just have him higher up on my list.
About who's behind him?
Evan Mobley and Cade Cunningham.
Nah, man. We already talked about that.
Yeah. There's really not much more to add to that, I think.
Yeah. And in my 7th, also Jaren Jackson Jr. So like we said, lead defender, great offender, great offensive player.
At number 7, I have LaMelo Ball. I just don't think he's more talented than anyone else on the list. He is great. If you've seen him play, his playmaking is absurd. Like his court vision is, I think, top 5, top 10 in the league right now. Shooting, he's pretty good at. I would say he's really good at shooting, actually. But sometimes he takes some weird shots, which kind of I think holds him back. But I just feel like he's not as strong at scoring as I think he could be. Like he doesn't just take over. I feel like at some points, which I think he should do more, and I think he's capable of it, but he just doesn't.
You kind of contradict yourself a little bit. I feel like, I mean, maybe not, but you said you should take kind of better shots, but then he doesn't take over. I feel like most of the time when you're taking shots you shouldn't be taking is because you're kind of trying to do your own thing, kind of taking over scoring.
Not LaMelo Ball. He just likes chucking up random shots.
Like Steph Curry?
He's not Steph Curry though.
He's not Steph Curry. Okay.
No, yeah, he's not. But I just feel like
yeah, he's Steph Curry with a 40-inch vertical. Haven't you seen the? All right, I guess that was Lonzo actually.
Oh, that was. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of with Valentin. He kind of takes weird shots.
I also just don't see his ceiling getting much higher than what he is.
Yo, I got him high on my list, but I'll tell you what. I mean, I can analyze now or get there when I get
there. We'll get there when we get there.
All right.
I already gave my 7th, so I guess it's on to you, Laurin.
I was 7. Yeah, Tyrese Maxey. I already said that, so it's chill. Marvin, what you got?
I also have LaMelo Ball at my 7. I do think his ceiling, he does have more to reach, but yeah.
I never said he doesn't have more to reach. I'm saying not much more, but yeah.
He doesn't play like 2 seasons half healthy, like to your point, Darius Garland, and he's done this much already.
I think health is also a big issue into his game.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, just to clear things up, actually, all of my rankings like literally don't calculate health in it. Like I'm literally just like, hey, 3 to 5.
My health is not very much into it. I just wanted to point it out. It wasn't a part of my rankings for him. I just wanted to point out that his health issues are pretty bad.
Yeah, but that's exactly your point here. Is Garland, like he's played this much season. We've seen what he's done. LaMelo's played less games. He's played less seasons. He's been unhealthy, and when he's healthy, we've seen the Hornets were the season before last year. I think they were top 4 in points per game. They're one of the best offenses in the league because of LaMelo Ball being able to dish that ball out to Miles Bridges to their guy, being able to score. Like he's an incredible offensive unit. And I can analyze. I have more about that too, but I have them higher.
My number 6 is a very similar player to LaMelo Ball and Tyrese Haliburton. I do think he is already better, and I think he has a higher ceiling to reach than LaMelo Ball does. You saw him with the Pacers last season. They could have made the play-in, but they decided to tank the last few games to not make the play-in. You saw what happened when Haliburton was out last season. Their win-loss percentage got way worse. Great team player. I think he's just really good on offense, and his defense is kind of underrated too. I mean, he's not like great by any means, but he's a pretty solid defender.
You have Haliburton.
At 6.
Mhm.
Have you said LaMelo yet?
He was my 7th.
Oh, okay.
Laurin has him pretty
Okay.
high. Who's your
Yeah,
6, Laurin?
My 6 boys, John Morant, and I mean, boy, John Morant, big fan. I got nothing to get. I'm not ranking him. ESPN, a lot of people rank him lower because of the off the court issues. Non-factor for me. I love John Morant. I just think there's certain flaws to his game, particularly in his shooting, really just his shooting efficiency. But I love him, and the guy's insane. He jumps out of the gym. He's electric. He's a playmaker too, scorer, finishing. He's got handles. He kind of does it all. Uh, I just, I mean, I think he's gonna be amazing in 3-5 seasons. I think he's pretty much kind of, I don't know, maybe he could get a little bit better. I think he could improve. I hope he does. I really hope he does. I hope he adds more shooting touch. And if he
So
does that, I mean, his ceiling is as high as anybody.
you're saying
I'm kind of
LaMelo and Haliburton are better than John?
Yeah. Yes,
Interesting.
okay. So LaMelo Ball,
I-
man, LaMelo Ball. You basically take John Morant, not as athletic or electric, but he's got way more finesse to his back. He's shooting. He can score on anyone from anywhere on the court. That's a fact. Dunking, layup. He'll hit you with literally everything. He's
Okay.
played only so many seasons in the league. His efficiency is right now his biggest weakness, but that in large part is, as we normally see, is when you're not playing a lot of games or a healthy season, you're not going to be particularly efficient. So in 3 or 5 seasons, if he's finally playing games and just being in the league more, this is what we see consistently. He's going to become a lot more efficient scorer. He will become a more efficient shooter. He's already like the talent's all there. He's tall. Defense, I want to see some discipline. Like you said, I do think needs some discipline on offense, like shooting wise and defense. He'll always have a little bit of that kind of flair on offense, like Trae Young, Steph Curry. They kind of chuck a little bit. But
Yeah.
we see him be pretty successful at that, and I only expect, like I said, him to get more successful for that. And I don't know, he got eyes in the back of his head. I think in 3 or 5 seasons, he might just be one of the best playmakers, or at least as far as like ability wise.
Mhm.
Maybe not necessarily. I feel like IQ and being able to make like passes plays a little bit different. But I feel like as just making those passes and the plays, I feel like he's as good as anyone. He'll certainly be as good as anyone in 3-5 seasons.
All I can say is I have Jaw a lot higher on my list.
Me too. I think that's kind of ridiculously low for John. But
Yeah.
that's you.
Well, like I said, my list, I'm not going, hey, like this year Jaw is better. But if we're looking at LaMelo Ball, he's almost scoring as many points as him. He's getting as many assists as him. He's literally doing everything he's doing actually. Already, like I said, Ja's already struggling with efficiency, and Ja's been in the league for so long. LaMelo hasn't. LaMelo hasn't been healthy.
I mean,
I
John's
just
been in
think
the league one more year than LaMelo.
has only been one more. Well, either way, he's been also been healthy. LaMelo has it, but either way, exactly. But LaMelo Ball unhealthy with less time still is literally pretty much already doing what John Morant is doing on a much worse squad, less healthy. I'm only expecting him to clean up his game more and to get better. Like I just feel like that's a realistic expectation in 3 to 5 seasons to have.
That's a career point for him. Yeah. But yeah, I'm next. Sorry,
Yeah.
I gotta start keeping track. Let's see. I got Garland now at 6. Like of everything I said during the Tyrese Garland argument, I think he's got something a higher ceiling to hit, especially the more touches he gets. What you got?
I just want to point out something. Ja Morant has gotten more assists than LaMelo and has scored more than LaMelo. And gets, I'm pretty sure, more rebounds too. So just want to point that out.
So you're saying he averages more? Yeah, I know. But like I said, LaMelo's literally played unhealthy and less time in the league. I'm expecting LaMelo, if you watch him, to get a lot better at that.
Okay.
Um,
I'm not just real quick. I'm not saying that LaMelo can't be those things because I mean his first couple of years he absolutely flashed that. I just think you're severely underrating Ja's ability. He's led 250 win teams in what 4 seasons, 5 seasons? I don't know. I'm done.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. If you look at the record, Ja's all there. And right now, if I'm ranking people based off this last season, I got John Morant being better than LaMelo Ball. But I think, I mean, if you look at it, like I said, I mean, how is LaMelo Ball supposed to lead a team to those numbers? See, for one, his team it just isn't that well built.
I
For two,
mean,
it has never been that well built. He hasn't played that many games, and yet when he has played games, he's had a top five offense in the league. Like that's all I'm saying. Like based off what has happened, Ja has been better. But if we're looking at 3 to 5 seasons, healthy players, them getting better, I mean, LaMelo Ball is I think more likely to be better and or at least certainly be right around that. And he already is right around that. That's kind of the point. Like it's not like he's like
I don't think the early. I mean, at last year's front squad was horrible, but the year before that, you got Rozier, Hayward, Miles Bridges. Who's their center? Was their center Plumlee?
PJ Washington.
PJ Washington. I mean, I don't think he's had bad squads around him.
I don't think so
Obviously
either.
not as good as Ja, but Ja's done a lot more.
His squads are worse and less healthy.
his squads
No,
are
they're
worse,
worse,
less
but-
healthy, and much less well coached, and he's not healthy. It's hard to elevate your team if you're not on the court.
All right, we backtracked a little too much. I'm gonna go with my list now again. I have Darius Garland
At 5
now.
or 6?
It's a 6 now, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Garland. We kind of just said everything about him. I don't think there's really more to add that I can think of. He really just has a nice bag.
Yeah. What's your 5?
5, I have Tyrese Haliburton.
So do I.
Also, Valentin, I don't know, like just because we're not gonna have false stats here. LaMelo Ball averages more assists and rebounds than Ja Morant did last season. So
How many
We're not
assists
gonna-
did LaMelo have?
I mean, LaMelo only played so many games, but yeah.
8.4, 8.1, and LaMelo wasn't healthy. And even doesn't matter. Even if all I'm saying is you said you have more. That's just like literally a false stat.
Sorry, that's what I read. All right. And basically the assists are exact same, 0.3 difference. My fault.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, yo, hold on. I said he's just as good, if not better. You said actually he have more. Like I'm saying, you brought up a stat.
That's
It
what I
wasn't even
read.
an accurate stat.
All right. Don't get some move on. I think it's Laurin, your pick, right? For 5?
Yeah. Have we
5.
talked about Tyrese yet? Or else I'll do it real quick.
I already got my 5 was LaMelo Ball.
Your 5 is LaMelo?
Yeah.
Okay. We didn't talk about Tyrese yet, so I'm just gonna ditch on him a little bit. Oh no,
Where do you have Tyrese?
I have him at 5.
I also have him at 5.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of playmakers, obviously he led the league, or he was at least top 2 in assists last year. Obviously, Marvin mentioned the win-loss with him there, without him there. I mean, they were on track to not even be a playing team, to be a playoff team when he was healthy. And then obviously you add Obi Toppin, future All-Star. You add Benedict Mathurin off the bench, Bruce Brown. Obviously, you're going to get Tyrese Walker, a solid 4. I don't know. That squad's looking primed, and they've built it perfectly around Tyrese. Just you got shooters, you got good big men, you got lob threats. I think he's going to go absolutely awesome next year.
To your point, building it perfectly around Tyrese, I don't disagree with you, but one of the things I have Tyrese Haliburton number 4 about Tyrese Haliburton that makes him, and I value this highly. Same with Tyrese Maxey. I'm high on both Tyrese's, man. But is his ability, you don't even have to build it around him very much because he doesn't really have a lot of weaknesses and he's willing to play any role. And that's one of the reasons why I have him at number 4 is because we've seen him play different roles with the Kings and be extremely successful. Like there's no issue, there's no like he feels weird not getting the ball. He has no issue with that. He's same with Team USA. He's willing to take a completely different role, and he's happy. And he's an amazing teammate. If you watch that man, he's always hyping up his team players. He's an incredible floor general. One of the reasons, obviously, great passer, playmaker. Like, I love him as a teammate, and then his scoring ability is also absurd. Like, he has the full bag. He was in his second season only. He was the only player with a 40% three-point percentage and a 20 points per game and 10 assists per game. The only player in his second season only. Like
think
I
there's
just feel like this guy has really no weakness. I hope his defense can get a little better, and we see him take over games, but maybe like be a little more aggressive. I don't know, but we've seen him have huge games and just pop off at will.
yeah.
He's
Yeah. I mean, once he got his, in Sacramento we saw it a little bit. He was still kind of the second fiddle next to De'Aaron. And then obviously we saw De'Aaron. When he took kind of full reins, he exploded, and now Tyrese, he took full reins, and now he exploded. I mean, it's just like when you put the ball in his hands, amazing things are going to happen. Obviously, we saw that all last year. He hits big shots. He puts up big scoring outputs, puts up big assist outputs. I mean, he's a fantasy gem, but yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, Laurin mentioned his on-court general and just in general too. I mean, even on the bench, whether he's healthy or not healthy, he is like the loudest guy on their team, always hyping them up, trying to help them out, whether they're on the court, sitting next to him, or on the bench somewhere. He's just a great teammate to have, always hype, always trying to help. He is fine being helped too, but obviously he's one of the better players, so it's not like there's too much income going to him, but he's a really great basketball player and great, smart teammate.
That's something we don't often think about. We know, obviously, Marcus Smart, when he was traded from the Celtics, all the question about leadership. Like, guys, it's insanely important. It leads to a lot of wins. We see Jimmy Butler not always. I mean, the playoffs obviously he was, but throughout most of his career, he doesn't put up huge numbers. Obviously, even though he's more than capable, but he brings a lot of leadership in a much different way than Tyrese Haliburton. But just those off the court dynamics and just kind of like that chemistry with your teammates, off the like not basketball wise, but just hyping them up, like the psychology. Halliburton has got to be top notch, and that's why like I have to have him at top four because I mean my top three are different animals, but I have to have him right there.
He's a great storyteller as well. But I watched him on the podcast P. I don't know, that was a fun episode. Who's your 4, Marvin? Or are we on 4?
I have to do my 5 still too. I have my 5. So my 5, I have the other Tyrese. I have Maxey. We've already talked about him, so I don't think I need to go too much into it.
Get him higher than me, dude. I like it.
Like the
And then at my number 4, I have Ja Morant. We've talked about him too. Not too much to say, but I mean, he's just a great player, super explosive, pretty good teammate. Has some things to deal with off the court, but that's not his basketball.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right. You said your 4 was Haliburton, right? Laurin?
What? Oh, me. Yeah, Haliburton.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So my 4 is Ant Edwards. I mean, I don't even know what to say. I mean, amazing score. Obviously, he's got the mentality. He's got the off court persona.
You have Ja above him.
I do.
I do too.
I mean, I think that's a fair assessment off this last season. But I'm telling you, I have Ant Edwards number 3. I feel like in 3-5 season, Ant Edwards is going to be almost undoubtedly better than Ja Morant because he can literally do what Ja Morant. I mean, he misses the playmaking a little bit, but we've already seen him being able to do that at a pretty high rate. But the thing is, Ja Morant, what sets him apart mostly, more than anything, is his like electrifying athleticism, right? And he puts it together well with hustle, with playmaking. He's a great playmaker as well. But that electrifying like athleticism, Ant has that too. So he doesn't really have that over Ant. And I see Ant, he can shoot, he can score over everybody. He's got a really like I don't know, he's got a really tough like mama mentality almost. Like he's just getting better.
He knows how to take over when he needs
He knows how to, and he's only getting better. Like I feel like there's still so much like we haven't seen out of Ant, and like he hasn't been able to necessarily get those chances, and he's still trying to grow into them as well.
I mean, I'm super excited. Hey, go ahead, Marvin.
I also like, I mean, obviously I think he's more of a hustle player. He has like the same athleticism as Morant. And I think one of the things too that takes him over the top over Morant is his hustle and his defense. Like his defense, when he wants to play defense or needs to play defense, he is one of the best defenders out there. I mean, he's a fantastic defender. We saw it in the playoffs last season, averaged like 2.5 steals and 2.5 blocks. I mean, that's absurd.
Mm-hmm. I mean, should want to play defense though every time.
Yeah.
He's always a good defender, but he doesn't always average 2.5 steals and blocks.
Well, I mean, I think sometimes we see kind of just lack of effort on the defensive end, which is something young players do. I
And
mean,
old players, Anthony Davis, for instance.
Yeah. but I mean, I think I'm super high on Ant. I don't know if I'm as high as Ant as you guys, but I mean, like some people are saying he's the next MJ. I don't see like quite the vision there. But I mean, for sure, top 3 shooting guard in the league type guy. I mean, he could probably be top 1 by the end of the year. He's got that
I
type
feel
of.
like I feel like in 3 seasons he's gonna be like. I'm not talking about this year. I'm not making my rankings based off going into this season or based off last season. But I think in 3 to 5 seasons, I would much rather have Ant than I would John Morant. And then I love John Morant. He's a boy. Despite all the media hate he gets, I feel like Ant is going to be different.
Yeah.
I agree.
I mean, Ja's I think all around ability could put him on that stratosphere, but I'm not quite going that far. Into like I'm not saying like 3 years down the line who's gonna be better. I think I'm talking who's better right now, who and also what kind of potential do they have. But so yeah. Is it
sure.
my turn?
It's mine.
It's his.
So I'm just gonna do 4 and 3. They're basically, I think they're tied. I just have it numbered right now. Anthony Edwards and John Morant, they're tied for me, but I'm just gonna give them numbers just to get it done with, I guess. We kind of covered the topics, I think, of both of them. I don't have much to add to them. But I think they're tied in my list. They both have, I think, great potential, have a great future ahead of them.
Yeah, Ja's my 3 as well. I think we said enough about him. I think he's got all the ability to take over. We saw in the playoffs last year when he dropped. What was it like 24 straight? There's not many players in the league that can do that. No.
That's true. That's very true. He was crazy in the playoffs. Both those guys. Yeah, I got 3. I got Ant at 3. Who you got, Marvin?
I already said that too. I have Ant at 3. I think this 2 is worth some more. So my number 2, my number 1 and 2 are honestly super close. Both have great potential, but I ended up putting Zion at my 2. Hasn't been as healthy. And since I'm already Luka's my number 1. Yeah. He obviously has basically been in the MVP race since he got into the career. And I think that's part of the reason too why he got the lead over Zion is he's healthier. And he's been in that voting basically since he joined the NBA of being the best guy in the NBA.
Yeah, I have the same ranking, and I swear I better hope you two have Zion Williamson in there. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you're calculating injuries, which Valentin, you said you're not, then I mean, if you're calculating injuries, he might not be in there. But if you're not, like you said, he should definitely be in there.
Valentin has Cade at 10, so Zion should definitely be in there.
Yeah, but anyway. And so I have the same thing. I almost want to put Zion above Luka Doncic because Zion Williamson. The thing is, like I forget about it myself. I'm guilty of this. When he plays, guys, you can make an argument he's the best basketball player. Like we saw him in the preseason get 5 steals and a half. Like he's insane on defense. He jump out of the gym. Like he's just crazy. Yeah. He's a big body, and on offense, like you can't stop it. He's like shoots like 60% field goals, and he can hit threes. I'm not saying he's a great 3-point shooter, but
yeah.
Dude, the guy's crazy.
I mean, when he's on the court, I mean, he was probably the MVP last year if he didn't get injured. I mean, he was on that trajectory, but he's too injured for me. So my number 2 is Jalen Williams. No, Zion's my number.
Will, right? Jay Will.
Yeah.
Jay Will. No, Jay
no, yeah, not Jay Dub. Jay Will. But yeah. No, Zion's my 2. I don't think he's close to Luka. I didn't factor injuries too much into it, but obviously. Luka's never injured, and Zion's often injured, so that was the difference maker for me.
And Luka's crazy.
And Luka is freaking crazy. I mean, I think like we were talking about him as potential, like, oh, this dude could be like a top 10 type player of all time if he stays on track. And then last year happened, and it kind of like there was a different persona around Luka now that he's like, he's kind of a whiner. He's fat or whatever.
Yo, fat people.
But both of them are kind of true.
Don't sleep on fat people no more.
Yeah, don't sleep on fat people. Nikola Jokic.
Dude, like that walrus will beat the living crap out of you.
No, I don't know. He's just too talented to not put out 1. And I think the Mavs will be. I mean, I still think their squad is kind of dookie, but I think they'll be fine because they got Luka.
Yeah, I want to give Luka some love actually, because like I said, I want to put kind of Zion above him because Zion is that talented. But I like Luka, dude. He's insane. Like I like we almost take him for granted. The Mavs weren't good last season.
He gets triple doubles with ease.
And just like all the kind of the stuff around Luka Doncic, not too much playoff success, especially not recently. But like I think Luka Doncic, guys, in his first season, he was breaking records. Like he was one of the best players in the league his first season. After that, he started like making triple double with 60-point triple doubles. Like the guy is literally just insane.
He had like a 60-20-10 game or something.
Oh yeah,
Like
I remember that.
Yeah, it's insane. I think you were at my house on that night. And he hit the free throw thing.
That was against the Knicks, right?
Yeah.
yeah, I remember that.
I remember like anyway.
Yeah. I just want to throw some love out there to Luka, especially with Mavs controversy right now. I want to throw some love there.
For sure.
I think y'all are overhyping Zion. You know, I got Tyler Hero at number 2.
There you go. Agreed.
And then number 1, Victor Wembanyama. I'm gonna add a rookie. Nah.
Yeah, we said rookies aren't allowed.
Zion 2, Luka 1. We already discussed it.
All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. Let us know how you did. Subscribe, like, follow the Instagram, follow the TikTok. I will see y'all later.